So hello everybody and welcome back. My name's Andrew and you're watching the Kelley's Country Life. Today has been a popular, and I mean popular, requested video from you, the viewers. So let me first start off by saying I'm not getting paid to make this video. I haven't been asked to make this video. This is simply a follow-up video for a product that I've been testing for several months. The company doesn't even have a clue that I'm making it. I'm doing this because I have received a number of comments from you, DMs, private messages, emails, everything. I've actually been kind of overwhelmed with how many people recently, even though this is an older video, has asked about this. So by far the most popular question has been about data usage for these cellular cameras. So when I originally made this video, I told y'all, hey, I was gonna test these cameras for a few months, see if I had any issues, see how I liked them, and check my data usage because I was highly concerned that it was gonna be high. Spoiler alert, it has not been. So this video is going to go over some of the things that I've learned about these cameras, giving y'all a quick update and tell you about my data usage up until this point and give you a couple recommendations on how to get very easy data for this. All right, so I apologize, I do not have the cameras in the shop. They're out in the field, but we're gonna go take a peek at them. But if you're not familiar with these cameras, these are called the Reolink GO PTs. Reolink is the company. They make a pile of different types of cameras. This happens to be one that runs off a SIM card, off a cellular. So you can put it anywhere that there is cellular connectivity, no Wi-Fi needed. That's very important for us that live out here in the country. This one also comes with a solar panel, and I've had zero issues with these keeping these cameras charged up. No batteries to add, nothing. You originally charge them on the bench, go put them in the field, point that solar panel to where you're gonna get the most sunlight, and they keep topped off. I even have one solar panel underneath my porch, only catching a small portion of afternoon sun. I'll show you that right here, and it's had no problem keeping the camera charged up. So here is one of the cameras that I have mounted out here on a job site. This is just a temporary hookup. As you can see, I even had to move the solar panel underneath the porch, but it still catches enough sunlight in the mornings that it keeps this camera charged, no problems. But this is what these cameras are excellent for. For example, this is an active job site with tools and equipment that we want to keep an eye on. And this camera allows us to watch over all that. So what is so awesome about these cameras, the thing that I still love the most, they pan. They tilt. And they even zoom 6 times, all from your phone. Doesn't matter if you're all the way around the world, across the country, does not matter. You can simply do that straight from an app and look around. I'm so used to cameras in the past. I've had cellular cameras and currently have cellular game cameras, they're called. It's just a style, well, kind of like this. You put it up on a tree, it has an antenna, and it looks one direction only. Typically takes pictures, sometimes will take video as well. The ability to be able to, pan around, tilt, zoom, check something out is a game changer in my opinion, especially for no more than these cost. So since we just hit on the subject of these being a cellular camera, one popular question has been, do these hook up to Wi-Fi? They do not. This one is made specifically for SIM cards. Reolink makes a whole different bunch of cameras, and they make versions similar to this. You just have to go look on Amazon or their website, and you can find models that are actually quite a bit cheaper, for good reason, that hook up to Wi-Fi network in your home, so you can mount inside your home on the outside. So you do have the ability to do that and save some money. This review is just for the cellular versions that you can mount anywhere away from the home. So another popular question has been, what networks do these work on? Personally, I'm using an AT&T SIM card because I found out we have it available here. It's been working beautifully. Also, T-Mobile is highly recommended to work with these and I think has relatively affordable data. And I even see online, looking through a lot of reviews on Amazon, people are successful hooking these up with Verizon, adding them to their family plan. Although it sounds like you have to have an actual IMEI number and kind of treat it like a phone. So there is a few different steps there. If you're wanting to hook up to Verizon or some other cellular carriers, I suggest getting on Amazon, reading the questions down beneath this camera. A lot of people go in detail how they were hooked up. So since we are on the subject of data and SIM cards, that has been one unbelievably easy process with these cameras. I went with a company called EOT Club, and that's where I've been tracking my data. We're going to get to that. And the one reason I went with the EOC Club is their SIM cards actually list this camera as compatible. There is no trying to sneak around and treat it like a phone and all like you hear with some of the other carriers. I think T-Mobile and AT&T support these 100% fully, for example. But I went with the EOC Club. They are a SIM card and data provider. So it was as flawless process as you can imagine. Actually, I include the video link at the end of this video to when I installed the SIM card with this. There was no calling on the phone, no setting up, nothing. Ordered the card, and I did a prepaid $100 card. It gives me 24 gigs. It's $100 a year, so a little over $8 a month, and plugged it right in about 20 to 30 seconds. The camera said it was activated, ready to go. I have never had that flawless of a process with SIM cards and phones and other things in the past. You know how the process goes. You're always on the phone with an hour fighting with somebody on a chat line, trying to get things activated, working. No problem. 2 of these cameras, 2 SIM cards plugged right in, good to go. So let's go ahead and jump into data usage. That's what everybody really wants to know. While these cameras are about $269, I think that's an excellent deal for a pan, tilt, and zoom camera. I've just not seen nothing like that. And with a solar panel, that's still not a good deal if you're gonna pay $20, $30, maybe $50 a month in data. I can see how that could happen in some cases. So again, I went with the EOC Club 1-year plan. It's $100, it's 24 gigs. I just had no idea if 24 gigs was gonna be enough or not. So I've had these cameras out about 3.5 months, I just checked. And here's the kicker. Total data usage for both cameras was a little over 630 megabytes. Maybe a little higher now, I've used them the last few days. That's it. 630 megs, not even into gigs. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'm very meticulous on the way I set these cameras up, the way I use them, and I specifically have them on a schedule to where they won't trigger and run often. I also use the lower quality data as far as clarity and resolution. That way I use less data. So if you're gonna be in an area that gets high traffic, a lot of delivery drivers, maybe cars driving on the street, a bunch of animals, dogs, things outside that's gonna be constantly triggering this, or if you're not gonna set this up on a schedule to where it'll turn itself off and on and record at certain times like I've done, yes, you're gonna burn through a lot more data than I have. But only using several hundred megs over a few months, that's awesome. So I think if you do go with the 1-year plan, the $100 ones, again, a little over $8 a month, 24 gigs, I think you're golden unless you just burn through this all the time or are constantly playing on it. Then maybe you could run into an issue, but I'm just not seeing that right now. All right, so I'm just not tech savvy and don't have a clue how to put this on this screen, so I'm just gonna hold my phone in front of you. Again, watch my last video where I go into a little more detail, all this stuff, but one thing that I have learned that helps me out tremendously with data is your motion sensor. Whenever you go into this menu on their app, there is a schedule that I had no idea about last time. And I can turn this off and on. I'm constantly adjusting. This one, for example, is up near where the house that I'm constantly working at. So I have it blocked out when I know I'm gonna be here. And if at any point in time I'm not gonna be, well, I just activate it to do some recording. This allows the camera to not constantly record me out moving around, working at the house right now, which is a job site, and burning through my data. This is why I've been able to keep my data so low. I love that it has the scheduling feature. I had no idea about it. So you can turn it to record 24/7 or just whenever you want to. And here's another one that I have mounted up on a pole, watching over our driveway. All right, so you can see where we just went by down there. This is typically how you see. So this is a recording. Actually, this is on low quality. I can turn this up to clear. So it triggers very well and catches movement very well. Now, if a vehicle comes flying in this direction, it may catch the tail end of it, but you can see it. As far as vehicles exiting the property, another very clear view. The clarity, I think, is personally excellent. And you can stop at any time. You can also zoom in if you need to. I just don't know any other camera that offers that ability. All right, so if we go back out to the main menu, you see a button pops up here to where you can pan, tilt, and zoom, as I showed you in the beginning of this video. So you can do this from your phone anywhere. Well, I've turned all the way into the trees there, but you get the point. You can tilt up and down. Look at the sky if you want to. I just think that's an awesome ability with these style cameras to be able to look around. There's my solar panel. So since we're on the subject of triggering, again, it works excellent for vehicles, things like that. There's also a sensitivity adjustment in that app. So when I first had this, I had it set all the way on high. Well, I noticed on extremely windy days, only every now and then, very rare, a limb blowing in front of it, because I have one in trees, would set it off. So I turned the sensitivity down to like mid-high, I think it was. And I found that to be perfect. Unless it's an unbelievably stormy or windy day, then I bump it to medium. No more false triggers, but I like to leave it on high because it catches vehicles a little early. Also, things like deer, cats, dogs. I noticed when I had it on high, I would catch those a lot, which is fine if you want to catch that. But as you turn the sensitivity down, it triggered more on vehicles, less on animals. So you can play with that and kind of get it to triggering to what you want it to trigger for. As far as nighttime goes, no problems. This has infrared built in. I have no issues seeing vehicles driving in and out at night. Now, you're probably not going to zoom into the windshield and see who the person is. But like, say, for example, the one around my house, I can clearly see the color of the vehicle out there. I could see people moving around at nighttime and keep an eye on my things. It actually works really well as a nighttime camera. Okay, well, hopefully that answers your questions. I'm sure there was more, but I just wanted to hit on the few most popular, common questions, and by far it was data usage. I am thrilled on how good the data usage is. Now, if you're interested in the Yacht Club SIM card, which I highly recommend because it was a flawless process, I'll put that link down in the description. If you're curious about these cameras, I'll also put a link down there. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know, anything that's purchased through our Amazon store, we make a very small commission. It helps us support the channel, make videos like this. You don't have to use that link to purchase it. But if you want to support the channel, that's the way you can do it. And again, these manufacturers did not ask me to make this video. This was simply your request. So if you have any other questions, drop a comment down there. I'm going to continue to use these cameras. I love them. I'm going to have them forever. Once we get animal barns and structures up around here, they're eventually going to get moved to that. We'll always have one watching the driveway. We're eventually going to have Wi-Fi cameras on the house. We'll move another camera out to our animal structures to make sure nothing bad's going on the night there. You know, no other predators or anything coming up like that. There's just so many uses that you can use these cameras for. If we have any issues in the future, data usage goes up, any problems, anything like that, I'll give an update if y'all would like to hear that. But drop a comment down there, let me know what else you'd be curious about. I'll be sure to answer it. Thanks for watching.